The United Arab Emirates is known internationally as a land of landmarks, from the towering Burj Khalifa to the world's largest cantilever building, from cultural landmarks like the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque to the majestic presidential palace. The BAPS Hindu Mandir is also destined to be an iconic and historic landmark. The Mandir has countless stories to tell, from its inception and location to the unique fusion of ancient architecture and modern technology. Today, let's explore the foundation story, the story of a spiritual structure. The BAPS Hindu Mandir in Abu Dhabi will represent the Nagaradi style of Hindu architecture as according to the Shilpa Shastras. It will include 7 shikhars that will enshrine deities from the length and breadth of India. However, incorporating this ancient design with 21st century construction is a task in and of itself, and its story begins with a gift of land. In 2017, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi granted BAPS 13.5 acres of land in Abu Muraika.
The story of the land in itself is incredible. Initially, His Highness the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi allotted us 2.5 acres of land in Al Watba, on the road from Abu Dhabi to Al Ain. Then, without us even asking, they increased it to 5 acres. Then suddenly we got instructions that keep everything on hold. After a few months, we suddenly were informed that a special parcel of land has been allotted to us, 13.5 acres on the arterial road of Abu Dhabi to Dubai. Imagine on a land we never asked for, never selected, and when we were moved almost 3 times, that land had a thick strata of sandstone, so strong and so hard that it was just 1 meter below the surface. And I was told by one of the structural experts from Malaysia, Dr. Kong, that Your Holiness, your temple will be like a small pigeon sitting on an elephant's back.
When I was there during the test, the profile of the rock actually is not flat. And such a big site, and the profile is sort of like we are standing on the backbone of something, is slope down and surface, so that you feel like it's something backbone standing, and which immediately I think of is an elephant have such a big bone to support something. So that's what immediately I thought, yeah, we are standing on an elephant. So you're going to build a mandir on a back of elephant like a pigeon, because compared to the strength, it's so much lighter. When I was told to act as the consultant, the structural engineer for this project, I was very sort of like this honored to be part of this team, because this is the first time doing a project which would last minimum 1,000 years minimum. So to me, your mandir is such a small pigeon compared to the big rock there.
When the land was first received, we had already made the original concept designs. To see if that plan would be feasible, we did a geotechnical survey, and what we found was surprising. There was a 20-meter thick stone in the middle of the plot where the mandir was expected to be built.
We found competent bedrock very close to the existing ground level.
When we started this project, we started really surprised, because before reaching the excavation level itself, we reached high rock. I feel this is the first time in the GCC. More than 15 years I am working in GCC, and first time I find such a good foundation within such limit.
Once the ground was ready, it was time to start the foundation. The intent of giving the mandir longevity also reduced its environmental impact during construction.
કે આપણે જે અત્યારે કોન્ક્રીટ કરી રહ્યા છીએ એ હાઈ વોલ્યુમ ફ્લાય કોન્ક્રીટથી આપણે આખું ફાઉન્ડેશન અત્યારે ભરી રહ્યા છીએ. એટલે કે જે સિમેન્ટ હોય એના 55% જેટલું સિમેન્ટ આપણે ફ્લાયસથી આપણે રિપ્લેસ કરી રહ્યા છીએ, કે જે વેરી એન્વાયરમેન્ટલ ફ્રેન્ડલી અને કાર્બન ફૂટપ્રિન્ટ એનાથી ઘણી બધી ઓછી થઈ જાય છે, અને ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગ તરીકે પણ આનું આપણને ખૂબ સારામાં સારી રીતના યુઝ આપણે કરી રહ્યા છીએ.
The fly ash for the structure had to be of a specific grade. After thorough testing, suppliers Adani Power Plant in Gujarat and Jebel Ali Power Plant in Dubai were able to provide the material that fulfilled the mandir's requirements.
The total structure of the temple will be using 12,000 metric tons of fly ash, of which we have already used 2,000 metric ton quantity of fly ash. With the help of local merchants and volunteers like Rajiv ji and others, we have been able to find the right grade and quantity for the mandir. However, finding the fly ash was only a part of a puzzle. This quantity of fly ash is not generally used in the UAE, and so we had to find someone who would be willing to support us by mixing the batches as our engineers needed. That's where we found Extra Mix.
We Extra Mix very happy to be part of this prestigious historical project, and we are very delighted and thankful to the authority for being a part of this project.
The mandir's designers felt the responsibility to create a building that would last 1,000 years, and that began with the design of a 1,000-year foundation.
જે ટોટલી અનરેન્ફોર્સ્ડ સ્ટ્રક્ચર હશે, અને આપણું જે એન્શિયન્ટ જે આપણી શિલ્પશાસ્ત્ર પ્રમાણે નોન ફેરસ એટલે કે ફેરસ મેટલનો કોઈ પણ યુઝ કર્યા વગર આપણે આ આખું આ ફાઉન્ડેશન ડિઝાઇન કરી રહ્યા છીએ.
We have used a very unique technology, Indian technology, that is using basic material like bamboo sticks and as well as glass. Glass in vertical direction, thereby the cracks do not develop in transverse direction. Because concrete is only has a compressive strength. It doesn't have a tensile strength. So there, wherever the cracks are developing, these bamboo sticks and glass provides a tensile strength to the concrete.
In this foundation, in general, we can categorize into 3 stages. The first stage is the bottom raft, which is in average of 1 meter of height, and the top is of half a meter of height. In between, we have the concrete walls, which we have casted in a grid pattern, and it has created almost around 170 number of boxes within this foundation. Now, these boxes we have filled with sand, which is readily available on site. The good thing about this sand is, when we tasted it in the laboratory, we found that this sand has no sulfide and chloride in it, so that we can use this sand directly as a structural field material in this foundation.
While the team on the site was working away executing the box foundation, the design team came across a new challenge. The government-approved structural reviewer requested the structural design submission to be made in ETAB modeling software. This software does well with standard buildings, but is not well equipped to handle a unique stone structure with an abundance of intricate carvings and surfaces.
This temple has been designed by ancient science of building temples called Somapura Shastra. It itself is a complete science. But when they submitted this drawing for our review and approval as a Socotech, we have to make sure that submitted design of this temple is in compliance with the authority requirement and the applicable code and standard of this region. For this purpose, the whole BAPS Hindu Mandir team and their consultant has to build a 3D model of this temple, which is something very complex because of the complex geometry of the temple and because of the material used in this temple.
We know our construction techniques and architectural principles and the ancient Shastra. We know it is right. We know it works. But translating that into a modern era theories is the one which was intriguing for us. It's not like we draw and give to computer and computer does everything. It's like solving so many mathematical equations and the results are coming out after that. So we ended up doing lot of iterations. In fact, frankly speaking, I was skeptical when we started the exercise. It was a revolution, as we started modeling. See, the modern science is more of a proof. As we moved on, we found out that some of the inherent features of the temple design, one is the wall, the way in which the wall has been arranged, that was helping us a lot.
We developed the computer mathematical model for the design and comply the current code and regulation in Abu Dhabi and UAE. And almost all the software we used and find out there are limitations of the current knowledge and software that it cannot model certain shape and is joined for the stone temple. We utilize FEM model to prove this design and spend more than 2 years to get here to fulfill the authority requirement. Overall, we embedded almost 900 years experience to accomplish the structural design and the foundation design. So certain software like ETAP and SAP was selected by the authority, which has limitations to design the structure. Even though we try to match the behavior of the structure rather than the only geometry of the structures. That is more important for us under the earthquake condition. That will be a biggest challenge. So we have to use a multiple software for different shape of the elements and combine together, and the final output is analyzed with ETAP model to fulfill the authority requirement.
In the end, with a total of 30 professionals from 10 countries and over 5,000 man-hours, a model was made in ETABS alongside with the support of 3 additional softwares. It was the first time in history that a traditional Hindu mandir was fully digitally modeled and then put through such extreme seismic simulations. Fortunately, for the millions of people who will visit this mandir every year, it passed with flying colors. But for the design team, accomplishing a historic task was not enough. They wanted to do something that would leave a legacy of knowledge for the future.
So this will be the first temple in the world that embedded instrument during construction will predict the behavior and back calculating physical parameters. That will generate a new theory for the structural design, especially in stone structures.
300 sensors are continuously emitting live data to engineers and researchers at this very moment, and will continue to do so for decades to come. This will ratify the design, but also serve as an early detection system for structural anomalies. These sensors are already inspiring groundbreaking research.
The temple has many sensors, like displacement sensors and the load cell. So beneath the columns, structure columns, we can understand the construction is going well, foundation performance good or not during the construction. So those checking is very well, and then if any issue is observed during the construction, we can adjust the construction itself. So the modern technology and historic knowledges, and combining with these two, we can find the solution for the future. So these are the kind of integrating our histories and our knowledge from the ancient time to the modern technology, and then that will bring us the new future.
इस प्रकार का जो फाउंडेशन टेक्निकली साउंड और साइंटिफिकली साउंड, ऐसा फाउंडेशन अब तक कहाँ भी नहीं हुआ है, ऐसा यह फाउंडेशन है, और इस पर भगवान का भव्य दिव्य मंदिर यहाँ लगेगा.
There is a saying, things invisible are more important than things visible. Though the foundations of this mandir will remain invisible, they will uphold the visible mandir for generations to come. This is the foundation story of a spiritual structure.